We no sooner get done with the NTSB preliminary report on the tail strike in Atlanta than we get two more tail strikes over the weekend. A pretty rare event. Is 3 a charm? My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. Let's check it out. The previous tail strike, or the Atlanta tail strike, was the one we covered back on 11 October where the Airbus A350 struck the tail of this CRJ jet in Atlanta in rather tight taxiing conditions. This next tail strike occurred last weekend at the Cheat River Fly-In near Rollsburg, West Virginia. Now, these sort of grassroots fly-ins are some of my most favorite things to do in general aviation. When private owners of these airstrips open their airstrips up and allow folks to fly in, usually on an invitation basis, just makes for some of the greatest fly-ins around. But you got to do it pretty carefully, and often there's limited liability waivers to be signed. I'm not sure how they do it here at Cheat River, but incidents do happen. And as you can see from the photo, one of the challenges at these fly-ins, well, first they get pretty popular, they get pretty crowded. You got to limit the number of aircraft because there's a limited number of aircraft parking spaces, and the aircraft end up parking fairly close to the runway, which requires that you maintain perfect directional control of your aircraft, especially your tail dragger aircraft. The Cheat River Airstrip is a great backcountry airstrip in the eastern United States, just south of Rollsburg, West Virginia, and is a long 1,800-foot long grass airstrip down at about the 1,300-foot elevation. There's a second shorter grass airstrip located right here. The airstrip that this incident occurred on was the longer airstrip, the 1,800-foot long grass airstrip. So there's plenty of room for all manner of aircraft, even this Waco biplane, Cessnas, 206s. And check out this video here from Dawn Patrol Aviation. He shows the fly-in from this year, including the incident aircraft stuffed into the trees. So let's review this video of our hapless mall pilot. This video was published very quickly on Facebook and on X. The mall is a great backcountry aircraft. They do have a bit of a higher wing loading than other backcountry aircraft. They're a great load hauler, but they will set up a pretty serious rate of sink. I don't know what his experience level is. We got a lot of tail dragger pilots that are out there with less than 300 hours. Don't know about this particular pilot. But it looks like he's trying his best effort to do a really short field landing on a relatively long grass airstrip. So he's dragging it in as slow and low as possible here. A little bit of an unstable approach. Add that bit of power. Got a bit of a bounce. This is a mall, I believe it's an M5 or maybe an M7, but it's got the sprung steel landing gear, so there's no rebound on that landing gear. So he gets a little bounce out of the thing, and it's hard to tell from this camera angle, but it looks as if he is well to the left of center line. And right there smacks the tail of the Cessna aircraft, which is in a parking spot. It's just the last parking spot on the row there. So it's close to the runway, but it's not out in the runway. And of course, once he smacks that rudder with his left wing of the mall, that sends him off to the rodeo here. Look out is right, and it looks like that left wing just scraped right over the top of the windshield of this beautiful Piper PA-11 Cub Cruiser and kind of dragged down the left wing of the PA-11 and then into the trees. And apparently the mall pilot was successfully extricated from the mall in the trees. Fortunately, those were fairly soft trees to absorb the impact. Again, looking at the overhead view from the Cheat River Fall Fly-In from Dawn Patrol Aviation of this year, I believe that's the Cessna that the mall struck the tail of right there. Here, I believe, is the Piper, and I think that's the mall stuffed into the trees. So he was landing on this runway. Again, there's plenty, 1,800 feet of runway. There's no need to really try to impress everybody with your short field landing skills and potential ground looping skills with that much runway and this many aircraft parked so close to the edge of the runway. Now here comes Dawn Patrol in his 170B 25 Charlie. And he does a normal landing, and right about in here you can see the the 172 with the hapless family still enjoying the the fly-in and sitting under the shade of the 172, missing its vertical tail. Right there's the Piper PA-11 with a little bit of damage to its left wing area. And there's the hapless Maul stuffed into the trees. And then 2-5 Charlie touches down right there with plenty of room to spare. So low and slow, a bit of an unstable approach, skidding the turn around, and then it looks like possible wing drop as it was potentially stalling the aircraft in an effort to land it on brick 1. Was more than likely still a little bit in the left turn as he touched down to the left of center line, which got him lined up with the tail of the Cessna aircraft. This next incident comes to us from down under when an extra 300 was trying to deliver the trophy at the Bathurst 1000 auto race in Australia when he struck the wall with his right horizontal stabilizer and elevator. And the problem is he turned around, delivered the trophy as if nothing happened, and then took off without stopping the aircraft and inspecting the damage to the tail. And this all played out live on Fox Sports. Everybody and their brothers saw the incident. So he's landing on the grass and then transitions to the track, but there's this cement wall right here to his right. Then he drifts a little bit to the left, gets the left wheel back in the grass under heavy braking, and I assume that the increased friction on the pavement side began to induce a ground loop to the right. So there's just a drift to the left, and then the right ground loop is initiated. He's hitting hard left rudder to avoid the wall and just misses the wall with his right wingtip right there and then whacks it with the tail. Do you see that piece of carbon fiber flying off the tail right there? And then horses it right back around onto the track and then taxis down to deliver the trophy as if nothing happened. Now, I don't know if the pilot then swept the controls to confirm the controls were free and clear. I don't see it in any of these videos here. But as soon as he delivers the trophy, he turns around, taxis back, and takes off again. Right there. Kablamo. The ATSB will have something to say about this, as all the data was played out live on Fox Sports. Thank you so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. When incidents like this happen in a high visibility environment, the show does not need to go on. You can stop the show, stop the aircraft, take a look and see what's happened. See you here.